Hi folks, in this video I want to go over for myself what were the 7 biggest heartbreaks in our history in the playoffs where I thought we could have and even should have won a Stanley Cup. Coming up. Okay, let's get into this. I got the board a little semi-filled, but I'm going to explain it real briefly, the way it's going to work. And I did this to save some time because it would kill too much time otherwise. I'm going with the season, the games played, wins, losses, times and overtime, same bracket, points, the goals for, goals against, the goal differential of each team, and where we finished in goals for overall in the league that year, goals against overall, where we finished overall, and my personal 2 reasons why I believe we didn't win a Stanley Cup in these seasons. Because I believe, for myself, we had 7 seasons in our history where, with a bit of luck, we could have won a Stanley Cup in those years. All right, so my first pick, and number 7, is the 1982-83 version of the Sabres. In this season, this was a rebuild season with Scotty Bowman. This is why I'm saying, like, with our rebuild, I hate to say the word, we got to be patient, because I'm out of patience too. But I felt years ago we had to be patient and get through this, because we never really got to finish this rebuild. And it drove me nuts because we had some Hall of Famers eventually that went to other teams. 80 games played, 38, 29, 13, 89-point season. 318 goals for, 285 against, a plus 33. For goals for, overall that year, we were 9th in the league. Goals against, we were 6th. Very impressive for a young team that really wasn't supposed to do very much, you know. We closed out this season 4-7-1, our last 12 games. So I didn't really see this coming. Then we went I was at the 2 games in Montreal, by the way. I went to both games. They were shutouts in Montreal. I believe 1-0, 3-0, if I recall right. And we back-to-back shutout, then went back to Buffalo. It was a 3 out of 5, and I believe it wasn't to the second period the Habs scored on a power play or something. And, you know, we almost gave them 3 shutouts, you know. And then I think McKegney got the empty net goal to close out the series 3 straight. That was a surprise, folks. We weren't supposed to beat the Habs. That was a big upset. Then we played Boston, and that went to Game 7 in overtime before we bowed out. God, jeez. And what drives me crazy is a young team, you never know what they can do. You just never know. Boston was predictable. They were a veteran team. I knew they'd lose to the Islanders in 6. They lost in 6. I just knew it. But the Sabres that year, the way they were going, it was a tragedy that the Bruins went on and we didn't. Anyway, 2 reasons I believe we didn't win the Stanley Cup were, of course, because we're a young team. We weren't supposed to. We were a big surprise in that playoffs. Very big surprise. Young team, and the Brad Park goal, of course, killed that dream. You know, but also, that 1983 team, we would not win another playoff series till the Mayday goal. 10 years later, imagine, you know. So it took another, decade of my life to see just a playoff series win. Now I'm hoping for just the playoffs. It's crazy. All right, number 6. The 1997-98 Sabres. 82 games, we went 36, 29, and 17, 89 points. 89, you notice, eh? 211 goals, 487 against, a plus 24. And we were 17th in goals for in the league that year. 17th, folks. Ugh, not good. But we had this guy named Dominic Hasek. Didn't it kind of help comfort that burden? Goals against, we finished 3rd in the league. Overall, 10th. Not bad. Now, why I think we didn't win? Well, first of all, I didn't see this playoff run coming before it happened. I just knew we were due for a playoff run. That's all I knew before the playoffs started. And I knew we had Hasek. That's a good enough reason to think we have a chance. The Caps had a veteran team. They had a veteran team, if you remember. They had a veteran team. Also, Matthew Barnaby I put there was a big reason I believe we did not wind up closing out this series. Because you might recall, we beat them in Game 1. We looked good doing it too. Then in Game 2, he mocked the fans. You might recall that. That woke them up, folks. You don't wake up an opponent. You keep your mouth shut in the playoffs. You hit, but you don't talk. It's the dumbest thing. So yeah, and if you notice from that point on, they just took, they were like the better team almost every game after that. So, but still a very, pleasant memory that season. All right, number 5. You might be surprised I got them this low. The 2006-2007 Buffalo Sabres. And you'll say, why are they so low? Well, let me show you, then I'll deal. Don't worry, it'll make a little sense for me why. It doesn't mean it has to be for you, just for me. All these 7 teams are great memories. Of course, everybody remembers that was the President's year. 53, 22, and 7, 113-point season, 308 goals for, 242 against, plus 66. We were number 1 in the league in goals for that year, folks. I think it's the only time in our history. Pretty sure. Goals against, we were 13th. And we were first overall. But that 13 for me was a glaring stat. That really was. It really was. But I will say the 13 teams were kind of, wasn't such a 150 goal difference or anything. Now, why I believe this team, and I'm going to be straight with you. I told you guys from the beginning, I didn't think we were going to win the Stanley Cup this year. I didn't. I honestly didn't like what was happening. I didn't like how we looked down the stretch. Wins, losses, I don't remember. I didn't mark it. I didn't even check it. But I didn't like the feel. I didn't like how I felt. You knew Briere and Drury were going. We both knew. They knew. The city knew. Come on, you guys all knew. We're going to try and sign them. Forget it. They weren't signed by then. It was done. I think Briere had 3 goals in the playoffs that year. If I'm right, 3 goals in 3 series. It was really bad. It wasn't good. These guys were already out the door, But we were just so damn talented, I found that in that we lacked that drive like we had the year before in 2006. We lacked that intensity and that desire to go all the way. That team had it, man. They had it. And also, we didn't sign Zdeno Chara or Jason Arnott. I wanted one of these guys signed in 2006 in the offseason. Imagine the 2007 team with Zdeno Chara. Think about it, folks. You know how much I got shut down in forums back then for saying that? We got to get Chara. To me, it was a no-brainer. I seen in the 06 playoffs how this guy took 2 of our guys with one hand and threw them both. Hey, we got to get this guy, Oh, God. Anyway, that's why the 2007 team. And also, going into the playoffs 2007, I was worried. I did not want to run into Ottawa or Pittsburgh. I didn't feel like that way the year before. But that year, I didn't want to run into those 2 teams. Number 4, the 1979-80 Sabres. For me, was way closer to a Stanley Cup than 2007 was. That team that year, folks, were tight as a drum defensively. You just knew that they're going to be hell to beat in the playoffs. 47, 17, and 16, 110 points, 318 goals for, 201 against, a team record, plus 117. That's a team record, actually. I should have mentioned that in the last video. Goals for overall in the league, third in the league in goals for. I believe the first place team had 10 more than us. That was it. Goals against, we were first in the league, and we were 33 goals ahead of everybody that year in the 201. The nearest team was, I believe, Boston. Yeah, it was Boston, had 234. We finished second overall behind the Flyers that year. Flyers had to go 35 games in a row unbeaten to actually finish 6 points in front of us, And the 2 reasons we didn't win, honestly, folks, the New York Islanders. It was their time. They became champions that year. And I do believe the 0-3 deficit, if we could have just split in Buffalo the first 2 games of that series, where we should have. We played good enough that we should have in game 2. If we could have split there, who knows what the history books might say now, right? Who knows? That was a heartbreak for me. That really was. That one hurts. Oh my God, it still hurts me. It still keeps me up at night, that one. Number 3. Yeah, some of you folks might know this one. Some of you younger folks. 1998-99 Buffalo Sabres. And as you like to term it, the no-goal year. And I have a question, though. Let's say they called back that goal. Can anybody guarantee me that Dallas wouldn't have scored again? I'm just saying, you know, we got to let it go. We do. It's unhealthy to keep like rehashing that. It's unhealthy. It's like you know, if your girlfriend cheats and you dump her or forgive her, but move on. You know, like just move on. So 1998-99, 82 games, 37, 28, and 17, 91 points, 207 goals for. God, that's really low, eh? God. 175 against, which was amazing, you know. Plus 32. So our goals for overall, we were 16th in the league in scoring that year, folks. This was not a Stanley Cup team. This was a Stanley Cup goaltender with a hard-working unit. It's not one of our greatest teams ever. It's not. It's just because they went deep in the playoffs, so we're going to remember them, right? So we finished overall that season 9th. I believe myself, no, not the Brett Hull goal. I'm not going to use that as an excuse. You know, I just won't. Sorry. I believe we blew this series in Game 2. You might recall Game 1, they dominated us, killed us. In 6 games in this series, folks, Dallas was the better team by far, 4 of the 6. Please don't tell me otherwise, or you didn't watch the series. Come on, let's be honest. Game 2, though, after they killed us in Game 1, killed us. And Hasek robbed it. I mean, I freaked out when we scored an overtime. I was like, oh my God, we won. We actually won. We can do this, you know? Game 2, we had them on the ropes at certain points. You remember, if we could have closed that Game 2 out, they would have won the Stanley Cup, I believe. And we were one-dimensional. We were a one-dimensional team. Sorry, this is not one of the greatest teams in our history, or you didn't see our history. This was a good memory of our history and a deep playoff run, yes. You know, I believe we would have had more of these runs if we would have kept this 06-07 thing going. Kills me, God. All right, here we go. My number 2 is... Sorry, this is why I didn't now you know why I didn't do the first 5 of these. So 1974-75 Buffalo Sabres. Without a doubt, belong up there. Without a doubt. It's not even close, actually. You know, we finished 2nd overall, but I'll tell you the story in that in a sec for you folks that haven't seen my other videos. And 2nd. All right, let's go here. All right, that year we were 49, 16, and 15, 113 points, 354 goals for, 240 against, a plus 114. That's why I say the plus 117 is a record. That's the 2nd best we've ever done. Our goals for overall that year was 2nd in the league, only behind the Habs and that mighty team they had. I believe they had 374, I believe. Goals against, we were 6th in the league. And, you know, we were 6th and we just didn't have, we weren't that far though, you know, if you look at it. We finished 2nd overall, technically, but that year was the year where Montreal, Philadelphia, and Buffalo, all 3 of us were 113, 113, 113. Philadelphia had 50 wins, we had 49, Montreal had 48. And that was the reason why. The 2 reasons we did not win the Stanley Cup. Number 1, Bernie Perrin. If it wasn't for Bernie Perrin, folks, the Sabres would have a Stanley Cup banner hanging on in the rafters right now, I believe. You know, Bernie Perron was phenomenal in this series. Phenomenal. They couldn't contain us offensively. They really just couldn't, except game number 5. Game number 5, when they beat us, what was it, 5-1? I think it was 5-1 in Philly, or was it 4-1? I think it was 5-1. They pounded us. And that was the first time the Flyers showed that they could dominate us in a game, because the other 4 games just was, you know, they didn't know what to do with us. And second reason, I still believe this is the number 1 reason for maybe, perhaps, but I'm talking in the series why Bernie Perron's the number 1 reason. Why we didn't win a cup back in that era, folks, I believe we just matured too quickly. And that can happen. That can happen to a team. It can. It can. We'll see it again in the NHL. I might make a video one time on the 5 top teams that matured too quickly and how it affected their franchises after, because we were expected after this playoff, the bar was lifted, and the Sabres now have to win a Stanley Cup. We're talking 46 years ago, folks. Think about it. Still no Stanley Cup. Kills me. And without a doubt in my mind, this team, without a doubt in my mind, is the number 1 team that I'll never get over. The 2005-2006 Buffalo Sabres. I will never, ever get over the fact we didn't win a Stanley Cup that year. I just won't. Kills me. It kills me to this day. And you'll look, and some of the numbers might not look as impressive as the next year, but this team was more ready. This team was so ready to win a Stanley Cup, it drove me nuts. Because we had peaked at the right time, folks. This team peaked at the right time. They were ready. Goals for, where were we that year, though? This is the funny statistic here. Okay, here we are. 5th and 10th, right? Yes. Now, you'd look at that and say, really? You know, about that team? That season, there were a lot of good teams, you might remember. Detroit and Ottawa. Ottawa was the powerhouse. They were the team to beat, I thought, before the playoffs. And fifth overall. I might have that wrong. I thought, yeah, okay, yeah, no, I have it right. Okay. I for some reason thought it was 6, but it's 5th. Weird. All right, 52, 24, and 610 points. That was the first season in our history, folks, we won 50 games, for the record, was the 05-06 team. And it counted in my brain, even though it was 82 games, because we won 52, you know? We won 52. Not 50 and 82 like this team, for sure, in 82 games would have won. No, here, where are we? 70, there. That team would have won for sure, one or other 2, right? All right, 281 goals for, 239 against, a plus 42, and that might not look too impressive, right? But check how they started the season, the first 20 games, then calculated. And take into consideration all our injuries during the season also, and the role we got on. And, all right, well, I'll tell you the 2 reasons, folks. The first one, why we don't have a Stanley Cup banner. And the first one, injuries. That's what killed this Stanley Cup. Nothing else. This team in 2005, 2006, okay, if they would have stayed healthy, they wouldn't even, not only would have they not lost a series, in my opinion, they wouldn't have even faced a Game 7. That's how good of a roll this team was on going in. I honestly thought they were indestructible they're winning the cup. I mean, in my head, that's it. They're winning the cup for sure this year. And my second reason, if you don't agree with the first one, oh, well, I'll put it on top. Is more injuries. You know, like, it's the only thing that killed the season, guys. Sorry, Carolina, you weren't the better team that year. No chance. Sabres healthy would have took out the Hurricanes in 5. They would have. I mean, my God, if Timmy didn't go down, and I can go on and on and on about what could have and should have and might have been, but that's it. So I'm going to leave it at that. I want to thank you guys for watching this, going down a bit of painful memory lane with me. Oh, one thing I will say before I close out. Yes, sorry. I want to say who I think should have won. I'll put who should have won and who should have won and shouldn't have won. I believe the top two should have won the Stanley Cup. I believe these two teams. Yeah. Yeah. And the closest could have, of all of them, the Hasek, 1999. That's the closest that could have won a cup. That could have won a cup. But these two teams get the nod over 99. Sorry. You know, no way. These two teams should have won the Stanley Cup. This is way more painful. Sorry, this is way more painful than the Brett Hull in the crease thing. Give me a break. We would have to go to Game 7 in Dallas anyway. They were number 1 in the league in defense. No, it's not the same. With all their veterans, and they took over that series by that point. This killed me. It just did, folks. Hey, look, you might feel different. You're younger. You might have, you know, the 99 thing might have hurt you more. You know, it didn't really hurt me. I hate to say that, but it didn't really affect me like I seen so many Sabres fans get so damn hurt by it, you know? And it's sad. My advice is let it go, you know. Look, all this won't matter when we win our first Stanley Cup, the way I see it, you know. This makes it sweeter that we had to suffer these kind of things in our history. You know what I mean? And that's it. Now I'm going to drop it there. I got to make another video, just a quick one, about something that's irking me with the modern day Buffalo Sabres. I'll see you later, folks. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed some of this, and I hope, you know, it brought back some memories that maybe we're still fond of, you know, like. And for people that, one last thing on a closing note, look at this. Between this, okay, 1, 2, 3, you know, 4. There's 4 seasons in a 10-year span. We either got to the finals or conference finals. The Sabres will be back, folks. They will be back. I guarantee it. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you later. Have a good one.